Hello to all of you eSailing fans out there and welcome to Round Italy. And I have to say, I'm really looking forward to this. My name is Thomas Bjørnlytti and tonight I'm going to guide you through, and I have to say, this is the first time ever in history, a virtual offshore sailing event that became a real event. So that's quite special. Last year we started this Round Italy together with Barcolana and also together with the Yacht Club Italy. And this year it's both virtual and it's also in real life. But tonight it's all about the virtual battle, and I'm not going to be all by myself. I can say to you, I managed to find one of my favorite co-hosts, but please bear with him. He's actually out sailing, so we managed to get a satellite dish to him and get a connection to him. Please welcome Alec Wilkinson.
Hello, yes, hello from the middle of the sea, and I'm having a great time, but it does mean that the internet connection isn't the usual sort of quality we'd expect from the studio. But hey, what an occasion this is. I wouldn't miss it for anything. And as you've already mentioned, Thomas, is it fantastic that an idea that we came up with last year for an e-sailing race around Italy has now become a real e-sailing race, a real race as well as an e-sailing race.
Yeah, and Alec, just to make sure that people won't miss your beautiful face, we have your perfect sound through. Then we actually made this for you, made you 10 years younger. So there he goes, Alec Wilkinson, 10 years younger. He is live with us in studio on a satellite disc, live from Sailing World. But Alec, we're going to sail around Italy, and what a pleasure. And I have to say, the Italians, they are quite, how can I say it, innovative. They are doing this virtual event, they're going into this offshore event on a quite extraordinary way.
Well, I mean, we've seen over the years how innovative the city of Trieste is and the Barcola Yacht Club is in creating this huge, well, it's the biggest regatta in the world, isn't it? Thousands and thousands of boats in October come together on the Bay of Trieste. And now they've joined up with the other huge maritime city of Italy, Genova, to put what actually, now it's happening, seems a really logical thing to do, doesn't it? Why not do a Round Italy race? And that's what's happening now. So yeah, absolutely forward-thinking cities, Genova and Trieste.
You have dreamed of breathing fresh air, looking at the world from above. You have imagined the sea at your ankles. In your fantasies, you have discovered hidden treasures and walked in the greenery of timeless gardens. You have admired a city kissed by the sun, dining by the sea, caressed by the breeze. You have traveled the world in your dreams, but now is the time to really go. This summer, come to Genoa. Genoa, all you ever wanted.
And Alec, I have to say, this is quite an extraordinary event. Let's go in-game and also see a little bit what it's all about. And tonight it's all about racing around Italy. We're going to race in what we call a class 40. But see, Alec, on the poster here, there's a prize pool Also a new thing in the world of sailing, 1,000 euro as a gift card to the winner, 500 to second and 250 to third. But Alec, we just saw the beautiful city of Genova and also about this beautiful yacht club, the Yacht Club Italy, but also we also have the big boat show there. And Alec, while marking it, see here the counter is down. If you're out there, then there's 21 minutes to join in, and you could join in, have fun. It's free to play. So guys and girls and skippers around the world, join in, have fun with this event. And Alec, we are going to guide people through what's going to happen tonight and how it's going, how we're going to race, because we can see there's this map. There's a lot of things here that we really want to talk about. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the boat type, this Class 40. What do you know about the Class 40?
That's why it's a class 40. And in real life racing, it's generally a single-handed or two crew boat. They're fast, they've been well tested, and really it was created as somewhere in between, you know, the small boats and the sort of big round the world yachts like the IMOCAs. This kind of slots in nicely for sort of transatlantic races or cross-Mediterranean races. So it's a really fast, fun boat.
But Alec, let's hear what the players has to say about this boat.
Hi, this is Matt. We're getting ready for the Round Italy race, and you can see here the Class 40, fantastic inshore / offshore boat. We're going to come in and we'll set our boat up.
Personally, I love Class 40s. If I lived in a coastal city, I would be looking to get one myself, if I could afford it. It's sort of my dream boat.
Well, we've been sailing with the Class 40 quite a few races.
Well, Class 40 is maybe one of the smallest boats we'll be using on virtual regatta.
One thing I've definitely noticed is they don't point very well. Like you're often at 55 or 53 wind angle. So
yeah, I've sailed Class 40 in real life, and I like it very much in virtual regatta because you've got plenty of different options with the sail setup.
The new Class 40s are they have the scow bows. They don't point well upwind. You really have to reach off and go fast. So if we have upwind, light wind sailing, it's not going to feel the same as the Class 40s that we had in the game 2 years ago.
And Alec, quite amazing to hear these e-sailers. I heard a discussion earlier today on Barcolana and the Yacht Club Italiano's home Facebook page discussing the virtual world against the real world. And yes, it's two different things, but these e-sailers know so much about these boats. They love them.
They are two different things, but there's an awful lot of top sailors, real sailors, who also do e-sailing. And you know, the Inshore world champion, the Olympic world champion, is in e-sailing, is also a bronze medalist at Tokyo 2020. So there is an overlap. And earlier today, I was chatting to another medalist from Tokyo, and she said that she practices on the e-sailing game as well. So there is a lot of crossover. And when we come to offshore, which is what we're talking about tonight, there is how you read the wind, and your navigations, your strategy. That is very similar to the real thing.
That's very similar to the real thing. But the first thing, Alec, when we are joining this race, this regatta, we need to prepare our boat. And for that, we always have some expert with us. And one of the experts we always invite with us in, he won Vendée Globe, the first ever version in the virtual sailing. That's how big virtual sailing is. He's called Matt Johnson. He is from Australia. And Matt, he knows a lot about this boat type and how to prepare it.
So the Round Italy race is expected to take between 5 and 7 days. So how do we set our boat up to get around as fast as we can? Well, let's take a look at the different options now. So our first option is radio alert. As you can see here, you can get notified in case of groundings, bad sail, or for other race events. So the next option we have is Winches Pro. Basically, this option reduces the slow down time of your boat during manoeuvres. So if you're changing sails or tacking or jibing, this will make you perform that manoeuvre faster. The next option we have now are foils. So basically what a foil does is it helps stabilise your boat and helps provide lifting moment on your boat to reduce the wetted surface and therefore reduce drag. Just makes your boat go faster. And of course, everybody's favourite thing to do while you're on the dock is to polish your hull. So this is just like swimming your boat. It helps reduce the drag and get that little bit of extra speed boost as well.
And there you go, Alec. Welcome back also on the satellite. So upgrading the boat is very, very, very important to do a good race, also in real life.
Yes, my favourite is always the hull polish. You know, you've got to get that hull smooth. A smooth bottom goes fast. Seriously though, there are all sorts of little tricks and bits that you can get that you can add on to your boat that are going to help you. So in this race, what have we got? About 22,000 players. So if you're about to get underway in 15 minutes time round Italy, the longest race around the Mediterranean, you need helps, and you need helps with navigation, but also you're going to want to sleep at some point. So the alarm system is also something good and worth having.
But one thing we heard the players tell us about when they started telling about the Class 40 is the boat has a little bit hard time sailing in light wind and also the angle of the sails. So let's hear a little bit about the sails, because this boat, you can see, I can see 6 sails in front of me. Normally it's equipped with 3 basic sails, but Matt, he could tell us which type of sails we also need in this race.
So you can see here the basic sail plan. We've got a spinnaker, a jib and a mainsail. There are other options, of course, that you can use in different wind conditions. The first of these is light wind sails. This is basically an extra sail, a larger jib. It helps you go faster in the lighter winds when you can carry more sail and therefore produce more power. In this race particularly, sailing around Italy, you'll be close to the coast on many occasions and sailing at night. There are going to be times where there will be light winds, so this sail is probably one of the things you should put in your inventory. Of course, the wind can also be strong, so there are strong wind options as well for the sails. This reduces your sail area and therefore helping you keep control of your boat and go faster when the wind is stronger. And the last option we've got is a reaching sail. What is a reaching sail, you ask? Well, when the wind's coming from the side of the boat, a code 0 or a larger sail will help you maintain that speed. It's not a spinnaker, it's not a jib, just a very large sail that helps you keep boat speed as fast as possible. Best of luck to everyone out there. Hopefully you can keep up, and if you're good enough, you might be able to get in front. We'll see you on the water.
And Alec, they talked about light wind when they presented this boat, and Round Italy is maybe going to be a light wind race. And now we are going to show some of the basic tricks and tips in this game. And let's go all the way in game just to see it. And I know Alec, he can see it where he is also. So let's talk a little bit about it. Alec, we have these lines moving on the screen. I know you always make a little bit fun of it, but these lines, what are they indicating?
So basically, you want to get your trajectory. You want to decide where you're going to go, obviously according to the wind and the way it's blowing. And here you can see the breeze on the bottom left of the corner coming out of the compass there. So it's swirling around from the southwest, heading up and swirling into Genoa. So they're already trying to. There are parts of that route that are upwind. Some of it is on a bit of a reach, but at this time of year, the Mediterranean's always got light breeze, or generally, that's the key factor. So it's not going to be a fast race, certainly on this first stage. And Genoa and the Bay of Genoa, where the boats start, is renowned for its light breeze, especially at this time of year. So what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at Italy, of course. We're looking at Corsica, the island of Corsica, above the island, the larger island of Sardinia. And they'll just need to decide where to go. Do they hug the coast of the leg of Italy, or do they go up towards Corsica and Sardinia and then come down? Because...
But Alec, before we get too tactical, let's show some of you guys and girls and skippers around the world how this works with the wind system. Because the wind is very important. Let's zoom a little bit out. You can see here at the moment in the middle, it's 13 knots. And down here we have an expert thing. So if you're a little bit worried about the wind, then you can actually take this wind engine and then you can move it into where you want to see, and then it's telling us how much wind there is. But remember, it's the dark area here. So let's see. Let's zoom in. Let's see here. 13 knots of wind. Okay, 9.7. But over here in the right hand side, I have this watch or line. So how will the wind develop? In 3 hours, it will be 9.2. In 6 hours, 8.1. In 24 hours, 4.5, Alec. Jesus Christ, it's going to be light wind here.
So can you do me a favour? Can you put that windmill nearer the start, nearer the bay, in the bay there of Genoa, and let's just have a look at what the wind is there.
Let's see here.
Well, not yeah.
Let's move the windmill. There we have the windmill.
Yeah. Oh, that's not too bad.
No. Let's take it there. 16.4, 17.2 in 24 hours. But let's see how it is right now. 11 knots. So within the first day, Alec, the wind is going to speed up. So this is the way you're going to read the wind and also how to navigate your boat. Another small thing, and don't worry, we'll go more into details. Over here we have this compass. If you are not used to sail, I can say to you, this game is for everybody. 50% of the players are non-sailors and 50% are sailors or former top sailors. Then you can steer your course and show the way you're sailing, and then it's also saying, hey, where do I sail? And then you press the V. I will go more into details later on, but Alec, it's also a real regatta. So let's meet some of the real sailors doing this regatta. And we had this fantastic interview with the men sailing Pendragon. It's not a class 40, but they are going to sail they are going to sail around Italy and will try to break the record, doing it within 7 days.
Pendragon is 70 feet. Davidson project of Davidson. It was launched in 2010. Yes, we are ready. We are ready too. We have prepared our sail. We are studying the routage, and the routing suggests us to stay close to the Corsica. But on what we know, we probably prefer to stay closer to the Italian coast on the first side of the race, on the first part of the race. I think that the strongest battle will be in the Adriatic Sea, because it's a more difficult field to understand, and we will be probably tired, and we want to arrive, and probably the first side of the Adriatic Sea will be closer to Italian coast, and then we will cross to the to the Croatian coast.
We calculate about 6 or 7 days.
There is a tracking on the Around Italy website, and they can follow, I think, every boat.
Yes.
And Pendragon for sure.
And Alec, 10 years younger, beside me. I know you're out sailing, so I'm making a little fun, but you love this real sailing. And this Pendragon, you know a lot about it. You studied it already.
Yeah. I mean, it's a well-known 70-foot maxi yacht. It's got a hydraulic lifting keel, and it's a beautiful yacht because it's not that old. It's about 10 years old, but the halyards and the control lines are all hidden under the cabin, so it's very sleek. And you've chosen the right crew as well, because the last time I looked at the tracker, which was about 45 minutes ago, they are out in the lead and they have quite a good advantage.
But Alec, now you're saying tracker. Let's go and see the tracker instead of. So you can go to Round Italy, then you can find this tracker, and you can see right now they have been out racing since 5 o'clock when they started, and they're now here outside of Genova. So what can you tell me about this tracker?
Well, I think you can get it at rounditaly.com, or you can get it from the Barcolana website. And basically you can zoom in to have a look at the boat. So we've got 4 marked there, obviously, out of the 5 boats that are racing. And I think Pendragon is actually a grey colour. So I can't see him there on my screen.
No, but this is Pendragon. So we have him here.
There is Pendragon.
Yeah.
So you can hover over the boats and it gives you a little bit of the history and some of the technical detail. And basically just check that every few hours and you can see exactly how they're getting on.
And Alec, they told us that racing around Italy will take 7 days, they hope, to break the record. But how fast do you think the players think it will take to race in a class 40 around Italy? Don't guess it. Let's hear. Yeah. Can you guess it? How long do you think it will take?
No, I was going to say, well, the conditions are designed to mirror the real race, so they should be somewhere close to the same.
So 7 days is the call from Alec. Let's hear what the call is from the players.
Hi, this is Matt. We're getting ready for the Round Italy race, and you can see here the Class 40, fantastic inshore/offshore boat. We're going to come in and we'll set our boat up.
Personally, I love Class 40s. If I lived in a coastal city, I would be looking to get one myself.
We calculate about 6 or 7 days.
To get Messina, more or less 3-4 days, and another 3 or 4 days to get Trieste. So less than a week for sure.
Looks like it's about 4 to Messina, so potentially another 4 after that. It might be a bit quicker though.
Well, I think it could be with such low wind, something like 6-7 days.
I think it will take us at least 10 days, maybe 12, to get to the finish line.
I think this is going to take 8 or 9 days, partly because Class 40s aren't as fast as IMOCAs, but mostly because it looks like light wind the whole way.
And Alec, they said 8 to 12 days rounding Italy. And Pendragon says 7 days, 7.5 if it could go in there. So you almost hit the right angle there. But did you see here 5 boats from Italy, Croatia, racing around Italy? But how many people are racing around Italy in the virtual world right now?
22,500 are competing, and it was great to see some of those eSailors because they really do represent countries right across the world, because the Class 40 boats in real sailing tends to have quite a European heritage and a big European following. It's growing in popularity in the USA, and so hopefully this game will help that in real life as well as in e-sailing.
But one thing I'm really amazed of, and this is also one of the things I think it's very good seen by the organizers, 22,500 e-sailers joining Round Italy, following the 5 boats. They might go in and follow the 5 boats because they're racing side by side. And they're racing the Class 40 in this race, and they're also racing the Class 40 in the real race. But Alec, there's now 2 minutes to the start. Do you think that the nerves are coming on, or are people setting their course? What do you think they're doing now, the players?
Well, I think there'll be a little bit of nerves amongst those who know that they can do really well. There's going to be an awful lot trying to finish their dinner and put the kids to bed so that they can take part. And the other side of the world, of course, there'll be people trying to fit it in during their coffee breaks and lunch breaks, maybe at work. So that's the beauty of e-sailing. It can be done anywhere by anyone at any time.
It can be done anywhere by anyone by any time. And when interviewing the e-sailers, they also said, special Chris Powers, he said, oh, I'm going up in the morning. And do you know what, Thomas? My wife is just flying to Italy at the moment, while I'm participating in Round Italy, taking care of the kids at home in USA. I would rather be in Italy because I love the Class 40, and he actually dreamt of buying one of them. But Alec, let's go in game because there's 1 minute to start, and I just want to show some more tips and tricks before we are going to discuss the real battle of this race. And some of the tips of tricks we're going to show now, just before you saw how I was setting the course. When you're setting the course in this game, you can see you're setting it straight out. But then you can go down to this lock. You can see there's this lock where there's written 45 degrees starboard. It means I lock my boat angle to 45 degrees starboard, or the angle I have here. So now it's locked, and you can see how my boat will always try to keep the wind on that angle I'm putting in. So right now you can see I'm speeding up, and one thing I heard from these guys is this boat is sailing best around 60 degrees. So let's see what happens. Oh, we will hit ground in 12 hours, but the distance, what I need to say, I need to find the fastest route coming in. So if I'm taking 12 hours ahead, boom, then we are here. Of course, the wind, you need to know one thing, the wind will shift 6 times a day. So you need to be aware, you need to be aware. But if we're setting the course here, then in 12 hours, we might be on the coast of Corsica. Now you can see one button up here, the sails, it's saying I have the jib on, it's blinking, it's telling I have the wrong sails. The really hardcore guys knows how to put in the sails automatically. Every time you do this, you get a small slowdown in the game, and you will speed a little bit down because it takes some time to change the sail. You can either do it manually. I can say to you, the winner last year did it manually in the race. Remember that, Alec? 3 in the night, 3:30 in the night, we were up commentating that, and we saw one boat the last 4 nautical miles losing the lead because he put automatical sails on, where the other guys were steering it manually. So it's not always the computer picks the right sail, but let's pick the light jib as the computer tells us. Alec, now the time is done, the race is started, but we want to do something more now, because these was just from some of the few tips and tricks, and tomorrow, 12 hours ahead, if I'm still on that location I'm going, I need to change my course. But Alec, we have a huge battle in front of us, so let's go in and talk about the real battles of this regatta.
Barcolana is the world's largest regatta. Every year, the Gulf of Trieste sees the arrival of thousands of boats. State-of-the-art carbon fibre boats, alongside traditional wooden boats of the Adriatic. Professional sailors alongside amateur sailors and ocean lovers. To be a part of Barcolana, you can get aboard a sailing boat, but you can also choose to be part of a huge and extraordinary event that celebrates, through art, literature and passion, the connection that this city and Italy have with the sea.
And Alec, here we have the battle of it. So can you guide us a little bit?
Yeah. So 2 minutes ago, the very first race got underway from Genova round to Trieste. They come down the Tyrrhenian Sea. They have to go through the Straits of Messina, round the bottom of the heel of Italy, and then up through the Adriatic, where they finish in the great city of Trieste. So the big question, of course, is which way round? It's a long way round. It's about 1,130 miles. So the longest offshore race in the Mediterranean. Let's follow them down towards the down through the southern part of the Tyrrhenian Sea. And really the hard choice is, do you go near the coast on that right-hand side of the screen? So do you go more east, or do you travel west in the shadow of Corsica and Sardinia?
Yeah, and Alec, last year we saw this battle, how they actually switched to this position, all about the wind. And last year the boats close to the coast was winning the regatta, or winning the first part of the regatta. But then they came to this narrow street of Messina, and I've been talking with some of the guys. They need to do what we call waypoints when they're coming down there. But Alec, do you think they will? How do you think they will come through here? Is this a very important move here?
Right. So the Straits of Messina, you basically pass between the city of Messina on the Sicilian coast and Reggio Calabria on the toe of Italy, and it is very tight. I think it's about 1.5 kilometers in width, and remember, you've got 22,500 boats. They won't all be reaching that gap at the same time, so it is difficult, and the waypoints allow them to plot their course through the straits. Go on, you want to talk about the Adriatic here?
Because when they're around the Straits of Messina, then they speed up and come to the heel of Italy. But then we again, Alec, have a huge choice. Will we go close to the coast of Croatia or the Italian coast?
Okay, so the thing here is that the prevailing current flows anti-clockwise from the strait at the bottom in the south, up along the eastern side and back down along the Italian coast to the west. So my bet would be to go up the eastern side of the Adriatic Sea, but that's where they split when we did this race last year, and then came together up in the Gulf of Trieste. So that is the big question, and could be the deciding factor amongst the leading boats.
And it's a quite big deciding factor, because when we are talking and interviewing these e-sailors, they are saying to us, hey, we have one kind of battle racing down the Tyrrhenian Sea and going to the Straits of Messina. Then we speed up and caught up with the others, and we cannot do many mistakes there. But then the hard choice come here in the Adriatic Sea. Last year we saw a lot of the boats starting to go to the Croatian coast, crossing to the Italian coast, going upwind, and then cross into Trieste. And that was actually the winners, because then they suddenly have the wind coming from the side of the boat instead of, as you can see right here, we can see with the small lines. You can see if you're coming from Croatia, in this case you will have the wind behind you, but last year they came a little bit from another angle. So, interesting choice.
The other thing about the Adriatic, there's 1,300 islands, most of them along that Croatian coast. So yes, you can go up that eastern side, but you've also got to be careful that when you go to bed, you've plotted your compass right, so you're not crashing or running aground.
So you're not crashing or running aground, Alec. But one thing, let's see this beautiful view here. 23,000 boats now, Alec, has joined in the race. So let's see them in 3D. And let's go all the way in game to see it. It's the middle of the night, Alec. Here we have our beautiful Class 40, and see, with the event flag and everything on, the red, the grey color, sponsored and everything. And it's the middle of night. We can't see the other boats now, but within the next 5 minutes we can see it. But see, terrible start by eSailing TV in this case. We are 12,520 doing what we're doing.
It's all about pacing yourself, Thomas. Don't worry, we'll get there. But 6.5 knots, and we're managing about 5.7 knots. It's going to take us an awful long time to get around Italy. But yeah, there we go. It's 9:10 in the evening off in the Bay of Genoa, and we're heading kind of southish towards into the middle of the Tyrrhenian Sea.
But Alec, let's go a little bit in. I have some more tips and tricks, special to all of you that's playing this for the first time. We know when we are hitting so many players, it's not all of you that are top sailors. So small tips and tricks, something you can use. First of all, you need to go to this expert button I'm pressing on. In here, you have some few very important tips and tricks, especially if you don't want to wake up all the time or you don't want to navigate your boat all the time. Let's start with the most simple one, waypoints. Waypoints are some points we can put in the water. You press them and press plus, then you can see we have this mark or this buoy, all about which language we are on at the moment in sailing world. And this one you can place maximum. You can see I'm zooming out 24 hours away. But let's just try to place one here. Then when I place it, I press either plus, or if I'm satisfied only placing one, then I press the check mark. But let's place another one. Then you can see I'm placing another waypoint here. And take 3, I'm placing yet a waypoint. Oh, then we need to remove the right one. This was the second. This is the third. So right now we are sailing like this. And but there's only one issue, Alec. When we're...
Yes, and I was going to warn the newcomers to this, the rookies. You watch that and you think, hey, that's easy. I just set my waypoints and off I go. And I'll come back in 24 hours time. The problem is the wind changes on a regular basis.
But also the angle of the wind is changing, and your boat is not taking care of that. It's just following the waypoints straight from point to point. So, but these waypoints can maybe be a very useful element when we're coming here to the Straits of Messina. See how close it is. And here we really need to put our waypoints, but also so we can capture some wind. See, 3 knots of wind, 3.1 here middle of the night. Oosh, it's going to be a very slow race towards there. But now we have placed our waypoints, Alec. And if we don't want to place them, then we go back to the waypoints, press them, put them into the garbage can, and then go back pressing V, and then we can start all over navigating again. Another tool we have is this time or this watch. Oosh, you will change your head. Yeah. We will change it here. What I can with the watch is I can program. Oh, we need to delete the. I forgot to delete my waypoints. Sorry, guys out there. So.
Okay. This is why it takes us so long to get around Italy.
yeah. Because sometimes they are not deleted. Yes, I want to delete. Thank you. Yes, and delete. Thank you. And check. Okay, we will come back deleting that one in a few seconds. So we will just do what we sometimes do. Jump into the studio, and then we will just make sure that we can upgrade the thing. Remember,
that's the beauty of live coaching, isn't it, Thomas?
Yeah, live coaching and live showing. And Alec, when we're coming back in here, then when we set this time watch, we can set it to change the course on a certain time. So we can set it to change the course in the evening. We can set it to change the course 2 hours ahead, because we know the wind will change and all that. And that's a very important thing. And there we go, back again. See here, you have the watch and you can put it in. But here, what you're doing, then you're changing your course. You can also lock your angle on your boat, and then you set it, I want it to change in 12 minutes, and then yes. So right now I'm sailing straight out, and Alec, while we have been playing around, we have been winning 600 positions, just to say, I'm not an elite sailor, but we are winning all the way here.
You're saying, I'm bad, but I'm not that bad.
So then some of you will ask, hey, there's more buttons here. There's this one here. This one is the polar diagram. It's showing your sails, how they are reacting with different types of wind. And some of the elite sailors can this in and out of their head, also showing which angle there's the most favorite to sail when you're doing things. And then you can say, oh, I'm sailing 120 starboard here. Then I can hit with 36 knots of wind. I can hit 17 knots of sailing. So there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of things you need to investigate. And Alec, if you're all brand new to this, then there's this one. Do you know what that is?
My favorite.
Auto routing. So I can press auto routing, aim for it, and then I can place routing, and then it's calculating how to sail. See, now it's calculating for me, and it's putting in timers when it wants to change this, change the angle and a way to maneuvering. So we can press OK, and then it's doing that, but it's only doing it with the wind forecast we have here and now. So it's not taking care of the future wind forecast. So you will not win with that one on. Wow, Alec, that was a little bit learning about it.
It's a good cheat, though.
Yeah, it's a good, but it's also, if what to do here, then there's a little bit help for all you new players out there.
I mean, the thing, we're joking about, being bad, being good, and winning, and so on. But it's also about learning. And if you're new to this, or relatively new to this game, don't worry about winning the race. Just learn from the others and keep an eye on what the other boats are doing. And if they suddenly get ahead of you, go, now why was that? What was the angle of the boat? Where did they place the boat? What route did they follow? And just kind of put that down in your learning book for the next time we have a long offshore race.
Yeah. And Alec, with all that said, then let's congratulations, Round Italy, having 5 boats rounding Italy right now. And remember, you can see them on tracking. And go into rounditaly.com, watch it there, or go into Barcolana or Yacht Club Italiano web pages, and then follow the tracking, follow these 5 boats, and compare yourself how you're racing like they're racing. There are class 40s in there, but maybe you should follow Pendragon because they are racing with current. We are racing only with wind. So I think that might be the boat you are competing against.
Yeah, and let's give them a shout out, actually, the real boats that are currently racing around Italy. The class 40s are Edilizia Acrobatica, then there's Karnak, and there's Kika Green Challenge. And then we've got the Maxi Yacht Pendragon 6. We've met that crew already, and Argo is the other boat. So good luck to them, and we will be following their progress on we're calling it, the Round Italy race, but I mean, really, it's the Giro d'Italia, isn't it? That's what we should be calling this.
I'm not sure we're allowed to do that, but it is actually. They are doing a great job.
Oh no! Have I just got someone a legal suit?
And that's my channel, Alec, getting that. But that's cool. But Alec, I have to say, watching 23,000 people sailing around Italy, battling against 5 real sailors, congratulations to all of you, and all the best of luck racing around. And with that said, remember, when you hit the finish line, you come to Barcolana and to Trieste. And let's just one more time enjoy this fantastic event. And I'm really looking forward to come there next year when COVID is gone.
Barcolana is the world's largest regatta. Every year, the Gulf of Trieste sees the arrival of thousands of boats. State-of-the-art carbon fibre boats, alongside traditional wooden boats of the Adriatic. Professional sailors, alongside amateur sailors and ocean lovers. To be a part of Barcolana, you can get aboard a sailing boat, but you can also choose to be part of a huge and extraordinary event that celebrates, through art, literature and passion, the connection that this city and Italy have with the sea.